The night was thick with silence, broken only by the faint hum of a ceiling fan and the uneven breathing of two children huddled together on the living room floor. Their eyes were wide with fear, glistening with tears that refused to fall quietly. The older brother clutched his sister's trembling hand, pulling her close as if his small body could shield her from the dark shadow towering over them. And then, in a voice so fragile it could shatter the hardest of hearts, the little girl whispered through sobs, "Please, don't hurt us." Those words, innocent yet drenched in unbearable terror, carried a weight that could crush even the strongest spirit. Seconds later, just as the shadow raised his hand, headlights pierced through the window curtains. Tires crunched against the gravel outside. And then the front door swung open. At that moment, a storm collided with silence. For the man who stepped inside was not just any father, he was one of the city's most powerful and wealthiest men, a figure people admired from afar but rarely understood. Yet, on this night, he wasn't a millionaire, not a business tycoon, not the face that appeared in magazines or financial headlines. He was simply a father walking into the most fragile moment of his children's lives. Before we dive deeper into this heart-gripping story, let me pause for just a second. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the power of love to heal even the deepest wounds, please take a moment to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support helps us continue to spread stories that matter, stories that remind us of the humanity we sometimes forget. Now, let's return to that trembling little voice. The story of this family didn't begin in wealth. Years before the fortune, before the sprawling mansion and the luxury cars, there was a young man named Daniel Hartman. Daniel came from nothing, a childhood painted with hunger, long shifts at construction sites, and the quiet shame of wearing second-hand clothes in front of wealthier classmates. His father had abandoned them early, leaving Daniel's mother to juggle 3 jobs, her hands always rough, her eyes always tired. He vowed that one day, he would never allow his own children to know the taste of desperation or the bitterness of scarcity. Daniel worked like a man possessed. Through grit and relentless determination, he built a business empire brick by brick. His name became synonymous with success, yet in the process of building his empire, his personal life bore the silent cracks that success often hides. His wife, Emma, who had once been his partner in struggles and dreams, found herself increasingly alone in the quiet of empty nights. The children, Lily and Jacob, adored their father but often saw him only in glimpses, his presence replaced by gifts, toys, and promises of tomorrow. But fate has a way of humbling even the most powerful. One evening, while Daniel was away on a business trip, Emma found herself face to face with the darkest corner of her past. A man she had once trusted, someone who had loaned her family money during Daniel's early struggles, came back to collect. Not with kindness, not with patience, but with threats. He was angry, bitter, and consumed by the idea that he had been cheated, that Daniel's success had somehow robbed him of his own. That night, he stormed into the house where Emma sat with the children, demanding what he claimed was owed. Emma tried to reason with him, her voice trembling yet firm, but the situation escalated quickly. And that was when little Lily's voice broke the tension, her plea piercing the room with innocence no child should ever have to use in defense. "Please don't hurt us." And just like a scene written by destiny, headlights cut through the dark. Daniel's car pulled in. He had cut his trip short, tired of the empty hotel room, craving the warmth of his family. The moment he stepped through that door, his eyes took in everything, the trembling children, Emma's tear-streaked face, the intruder's rage. What followed was not a wealthy man flexing power. It was a father, raw with fury and love, standing like a shield before his family. Daniel confronted the man, his voice calm but firm, his body unshaken even though inside, his heart thundered like war drums. He offered what he always had, fairness. He promised repayment, offered help, even compassion. Because Daniel remembered too well what it was like to be desperate, to feel robbed by life. But when the man refused reason, Daniel chose something greater than anger. He chose mercy. Instead of pressing charges, instead of unleashing the legal team that could destroy this man's life overnight, Daniel extended his hand. Not literally at first, but through action. He gave the man a chance to rebuild, offering him work and guidance. It shocked Emma, it confused the children, and it even startled the intruder himself. But Daniel's eyes saw something no one else could, the brokenness of a soul that had lost its way. In the weeks that followed, the house that had once been filled with silence and fear began to transform. Daniel, shaken by how close he had come to losing what truly mattered, changed his priorities. No longer did late-night meetings and endless trips consume him. He was there for dinners, for bedtime stories, for the little things children remember long after toys are forgotten. Emma, too, saw in him the man she had once married, not the businessman but the dreamer, the protector, the partner. The children, especially little Lily, slowly replaced fear with laughter. And the man who had once been a threat became something unexpected, a reminder that people can change when given the chance, that redemption is not just a word but a choice we offer each other. Daniel's story spread quietly at first, whispered among employees, neighbors, and friends. Soon, it became something more, a testimony that wealth is not measured in bank accounts but in the strength of love, mercy, and family. And so, what began with a trembling little girl's plea, "Please don't hurt us," ended in a lesson the world desperately needs to hear. Even in moments of darkness, kindness has the power to change the ending. If this story touched your heart, I ask you, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Every click helps us keep telling stories that remind us what it means to be human. And before you go, we have a special request. Drop a comment below sharing a time when kindness changed your life or someone else's. Your words may inspire someone who desperately needs hope today. Because sometimes, all it takes to heal a broken world is a little kindness.